Hey guys, I'm Treasa. This is obviously my channel, and today I want to talk about my trimester 2, just a little update, little recap, all my symptoms and cravings and whatever else happened to come up in trimester 2. So first of all, I want to talk about how my body changed, and that would be my chest slowed down, stopped growing. I feel like it tripled in trimester 1, but trimester 2, nothing really changed there. I did end up with some stretch marks on my chest. I feel like that happened though in trimester 1. I just don't know if I mentioned that in the first video. As far as my bump goes, I feel like my bump just kept doubling. Every week or 2 weeks, the size of it just expanded. I thought that I was huge in my first trimester. Boy, was I wrong. I also thought I was huge in my second trimester. Boy, was I wrong. Now I am actually halfway through my third trimester. I'm currently in my 33rd week of pregnancy, and my bump is so much bigger. I will show you a bump update at the end. I believe around 16 weeks, I did my second blood draw where they were checking for my updated iron count, because the first time I did a blood draw, I showed up as being slightly anemic. And unfortunately, I ended up coming back that I was severely anemic, which was really, really disappointing because I thought that I was doing so well. I had changed my prenatals, and I was trying to eat more foods that are iron rich, and it got worse. So I ended up needing to have iron transfusions, and I had them between 18 weeks and 21 weeks. It wasn't that bad if you end up needing to have transfusions during your pregnancy. It's not the end of the world. It's not bad. I mean, of course, we would rather not have to do that, but as far as like going through the process, once you're there, it's not bad at all. You just go to the hospital. It does take a couple hours, and like I said, I had to do it 3 times, so I went once a week for 3 weeks in a row. But honestly, it was really worth it because I found that I was getting short of breath less, and I didn't even realize how tired I was. I didn't think that fatigue was a huge symptom of mine in my first trimester or at the beginning of my second trimester, but once I got the iron transfusions, I realized that I must have been extremely tired because I just had a huge burst of energy and I felt amazing. I did find that fatigue did start to set in though for me again. I got fatigued the day before my second transfusion and the day before my third transfusion. I don't know if that correlated, if it was because my iron levels were dipping a bit, and then I got them refreshed and I felt better again. I also found that the week following my iron transfusion, I was extremely fatigued for multiple days, but the week of my last iron transfusion was also the week that we moved apartments. So was it related to the iron transfusion, or was it related to the fact that I just packed a billion boxes and unpacked a billion boxes when we moved, and also it took like a lot of mental energy. I was hit hard after that move, more so than I normally would be after a move, and it's probably just because I'm really pregnant. Another thing that happened post-move was that my feet were so sore. Like the soles of my feet were like in so much pain. Like I thought maybe it was because our floors are harder and I was gonna have to get new slippers. I was so concerned that I was not gonna be able to function in our new house because my feet were killing me for the first like 3 days that we were here. But it must have just been from all the back and forth walking around, repacking, unpacking, whatever. I must have been walking heavy on my feet or something, because the pain did subside and it wasn't long lasting. Like my feet don't ever hurt anymore. So it was just a weird, interesting thing that happened with the move, and I think it also might have been because my feet were so swollen from the move, which also is not a normal thing that would happen if I wasn't pregnant, but my feet ballooned. Honestly, they ballooned bigger than they have my entire pregnancy, which, teaser for the third trimester, I have a huge problem with swelling in my feet in the third trimester. It was nothing compared to this. It was very concerning. But I think it was just I was on my feet too much during that time period. My camera died. So sorry about that. If my lighting is different, I apologize. But as far as the move goes, I wasn't doing anything crazy or risky by lifting anything. Actually, that was a really interesting thing with the move, like not being able to lift anything. Like for a person like me, I felt so useless. It was already hard enough for me when I lived in New York. I moved and I paid movers, and that was a weird feeling because it's like, oh wow, like I actually don't need to do anything. Like they don't want me to do anything. I'd be in the way. So yeah, that was weird. But this time we didn't pay movers. We just had family help, and all I could do was like arrange all the boxes, which honestly was enough because we still had stuff to pack and like arrange while they were like bringing stuff downstairs and loading the van and stuff. So I was still working the entire day. The move occurred during week 22, between weeks like 24 and 25, maybe a little sooner, maybe a little later, but it was for a couple weeks. I did develop a pain on the right side of my body, like right underneath my ribs. And it was just like a pinching pain. I did talk to my doctor about it, but it's nothing to be concerned about, which is what I figured. It's just that my stomach is sitting really high underneath my ribs. So as the baby grew, pressure started being placed on like some whatever organs are like under my ribs or something, and it felt like my rib was like poking it. And that was kind of like a dull pain that would come and go, especially like if I turned wrong or when I was getting in and out of bed, I would feel that pain, but it wasn't like all the time, and it was totally livable until probably around my 25th week. I was at the park and I was taking a walk with my husband, and he had his basketball with him because he usually stops and shoots a couple baskets and stuff. But the basketball court was really busy, so we walked over to the soccer field, and he was dribbling the basketball, just playing around, and he shot it to me. And I feel like, I swear, I was in slow motion. I dribbled the ball in slow motion, barely moving my legs, and I automatically started to feel like not good, like in my pelvic area, like in between my legs. And I feel like that's kind of normal because if I just like push a basket or something on the ground with my legs while I'm pregnant, I find my joints and stuff in between my legs are much looser and not necessarily weaker, but they do like stretch and stuff during pregnancy. So that sensation of like pushing a weight kind of hurts. So I wasn't surprised that when I was kicking a heavy basketball that there was a little bit of pain. Didn't really think anything of it. I kicked the ball with very little force, and it just kind of like rolled slowly to the goal, and that was it. Like I did it one time and I was like, oh, that doesn't feel good. I don't want to try to do that again. And we walked over the basketball court a few minutes later, and I have gone with him a million times throughout my pregnancy to the basketball court, and I've attempted to shoot a couple baskets as well, and I have never had issue. But again, I had just felt like some soreness in my legs when I was dribbling the basketball on the soccer field. By dribbling, I mean with my feet. So I went to shoot a basket. I made this motion. I was already experiencing that pain on my side off and on, but it wasn't like occurring at the moment. And I went to shoot the basket. I immediately got that right side pain, and it was not great. It was not great at all. I could not even stand up straight after. I felt like I had just punctured a lung or something. It was extreme pain to the point where I just waddled over to the bleachers and sat down and did not want to move for a while. And I finally made my way back to the car. The pain did not subside. I wasn't that worried about it because, again, it was already a pain that was occurring that I talked to my doctor about, who said totally normal, probably will get worse. Well, it got worse. And it lasted about 2 days where the pain was pretty persistent, didn't go away, and would be worse anytime I was like laying down or trying to get in and out of bed. And yeah, that was really not fun, really unexpected. I actually, like, after that incident, like pushed through and like forced myself to do like yoga in the morning and stuff for the next couple days, just like a 10-minute stretch. And that really, really, really helped by like elongating and stretching out this area so much better. And I actually stopped getting that right side pain pretty soon after that it cooled down from the incident. I found that starting around like week 21, or at least that's when I noted it, I was having a lot of like hot sweats in the night and like waking up really hot and really sweaty in the morning. Pretty much meaning I have to wash my sheets way more than I normally would. And that's kind of like continued all throughout my second trimester. It's a little better now, but yeah, my body temperature is still just so much higher than it would normally be. So that's probably why I'm feeling so hot in the night. Another thing that I feel like continued from my first trimester onto my second trimester is problems with my digestion. I found that in the beginning of my second trimester, up until about 18 weeks, my digestion actually started to like normalize. I was feeling a lot better and feeling like I was able to have regular bowel movements. But sadly, I ended up changing my prenatal because of my anemia, I think halfway through my first trimester, and then around 16 to 18 weeks when I found out that I was even worse off with my anemia, I had to add an iron supplement, and I actually ended up having to get iron transfusions. So all of that extra iron definitely led to me becoming really, really constipated all over again, and there was no fixing it with coffee and extra fiber. It was an ongoing struggle, and honestly, it is still an ongoing struggle, and we're at 33 weeks. So off and on, severe constipation. There was times when it wasn't too bad, and times when it was really, really bad. As far as my sleep went, in my second trimester, I definitely had trouble sleeping from week 21 probably all the way until the end of my second trimester. This wasn't insomnia by any means. This was just trouble falling asleep, trouble getting comfortable, constantly shifting during my sleep, waking up because I'm in pain or need to like readjust my pillows. There was definitely a lot of playing around with pillow placement and figuring out what feels the most comfortable to me. I definitely feel like right now in my third trimester compared to how I felt in my second trimester, I am so much more comfortable. I don't even need to be that particular with how I place the pillows and stuff. Mostly now I place the pillows so that I don't roll over automatically in my sleep and lay on my back, because that's what's like the most comfortable and the most natural to me, and I'm trying to sleep on my side. So it definitely got better, but it was rough in my second trimester trying to find a comfortable way to sleep. But at the end of the day, I would still fall asleep, and I would sleep through the night, and I would actually sleep pretty late in my second trimester. Like the majority of my second trimester, I feel like I slept in quite a bit. And honestly, like throughout my second trimester, I feel like the majority of the time I slept in rather than woke up early. The very last symptom that I want to mention is that I had headaches sporadically all throughout my second trimester, and they were pretty intense. They would last the entire day once I would get them, and the only thing that I could think was causing them is not enough water and possibly too much sodium, which I only figured out because I've been trying to reduce my sodium lately. And ever since I've been trying to reduce my sodium, no headaches at all. And when I look back, right before I reduced my sodium is when I had some of my worst headaches. So that's my unexpert opinion on why I'm getting headaches during pregnancy. But yeah, they sucked. I got headaches a lot during my second trimester. And like I said, they would pretty much last all day. And now on to the fun stuff, cravings. I feel like I didn't have many specific cravings, but around week 21, 22, which is right before my move, I definitely was craving milkshakes and drank an absurd amount of milkshakes to the point where I actually jotted this down. So that is definitely one craving. And also going back to pre-move around weeks 20 to 22, I was pretty stressed out. And one symptom I forgot to mention is that I would cry super easily. Like my husband could say like something totally not insane, not mean, not judgmental, like just a normal thing to me, and I would just burst into tears. If he had any sort of opposition to me, burst into tears. And he was the main person that I was communicating with, so it was mostly him. I feel like that got the brunt of my emotions, but my emotions were a mess during that time. I think it's because 1, hormones, 2, I was super stressed out trying to make sure everything with the move went well. So yeah, I cried a lot between weeks 20 and 22. Also, that was like when I was getting all the transfusions and stuff. So we just were like having a lot of doctor's appointments. So I think there was just like a lot of stuff like compiling. But that's pretty much it. That's everything that I can remember that I experienced in my second trimester. Like I said, I am a lot further along now, so I might be forgetting something, but that's the bulk of it. So let me first, before I let you go, this is my week 33 bump update. It's still sitting really, really high, but it has definitely gotten bigger, and I've definitely gained a lot of weight. I don't know exactly how much weight I gained during my second trimester. I feel like it was probably around 25 pounds, 26 pounds, because I remember thinking, okay, I'm not doing too bad on weight. I've gained 1 pound per week of pregnancy. So I think I was around 25, 26 pounds at the end of my second trimester. Third trimester, I'm at week 33. I've already gained over 40 pounds. So that's obviously not great. You're only supposed to gain about 25, 30 pounds. So I really, really, really need to be careful. But that is a conversation for the next video. So stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already so that you can get my trimester 3 update. And check out these videos over here if you haven't seen them yet to find out more about my pregnancy journey and what I've been up to. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't yet, please like it. You made it all the way to the end, so you obviously like something about it. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye, guys.